All right, are we ready? We're ready. Ready? Okay. But we're recording, so we're just waiting for a minute in case you're watching this. Waiting for the rain. All right. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Monica Lindstrom. I am a member of the board of directors for Arizona Foundation for Women, and I want to welcome you and thank you for joining us for She Talks, Best Practices for Online Dating. We are very grateful to today's speaker, and I'll introduce him in just a moment, for bringing this important issue and answers to us, because without people like him, we wouldn't have these answers. So thank you so much, Scott. And like I said, I'll introduce you in a minute. She Talks is a series of events that help raise awareness on issues affecting the safety, health, and economic empowerment of women. While we normally have in-person events, and we all want to have those in-person events, we do this to help educate our community. But as you know, with COVID out there right now, we're doing a lot of these virtually. So we feel blessed that we're able to still do these and do them virtually, so you can watch them now, and you can share this event to all your friends and neighbors and coworkers so that they can watch it on demand, and we'll have that link on our website after today. So the mission of Arizona Foundation for Women is advancing the status of Arizona's women through research, advocacy, and philanthropy to ensure their safety, health, and economic independence. We have a tagline that we like to use to help people remember what it is exactly that we do, and we wrap to SHE. The wrap is for research, advocacy, and philanthropy, and the SHE is the safety, health, and economic empowerment. So we wrap to SHE. It's a really easy way to remember what we do here at AFW. Well, we hear from people on a daily basis, both women and men, how can I get more involved with our organization? And it's really, really easy. I'm going to go over a couple of the ways that you can become part of AFW. Number one, you can become a member. For as little as $10 a month, you can connect your giving power with like-minded Arizonans who are leading the fight, so every woman in Arizona can change what is possible for her, her community, and the future generation. When you set that up, it can be an automatic deduction, or you can always make one-time gifts. Anything helps. Number two, we have numerous volunteer opportunities available if you have time to give, including serving on a committee or helping with plan events. You can go ahead and go to our website, and you can email us if you're interested in volunteering or becoming one of those individuals that can help us with our committees and our other events. Number three, we also have She Partners program. Now, this is a really neat program. This is where we collaborate with corporations and companies throughout the Valley. If your company has a women's affinity group, we would be interested in speaking with you to see what we could do together and how we can put our strengths together and help Arizona's women. So for more information on all the ways to get more involved with Arizona Foundation for Women, you can go ahead and visit our website at azfw.org. That's azfw.org. And we'll also provide you with information in an email after today's event. So now that I've got all that information out of the way, I want to go ahead and introduce you to Scott Pietrzak. He's been in law enforcement for 29 years and is a detective with the Mesa Police Department. He is assigned to the Digital Forensics Internet Crimes Against Children's Unit. How important is that? I mean, it's crazy that we even need a unit to deal with the crimes that are happening right now with technology and children, but we do, and we're so grateful that Scott is able to do that. Scott also owns Online Safety Specialists and is dedicated to teaching and bridging the gap between kids and parents about the risks of chatting online, so very important, and has investigated the topics he covers in the presentation that we're about ready to see. Scott also travels throughout the US teaching other law enforcement agencies how to chat with online predators. Scott has a bachelor's degree in adult education through, are you ready? NAU, go Jacks. Yeah, can't help it. I'm a big Jacks fan, and has taught at the Mesa Police Academy. So Scott, thank you so much for being with us today. And this is such a very important topic because I believe there are a great number of people out there that date online, all the way from teens, all the way up into their 80s. Would you agree with that?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's not just the young kids who are dating these days. It runs the whole gamut, and there are apps for every age group, every economic group, whether there's apps for Mormons and for farmers and for it's for there's something for everybody out there.
Yeah. All right. So, what can you tell us about, or where should we start this conversation about how to be mindful of what's happening with online dating?
Well, I've got a PowerPoint right here that I can get going on if you want to start
Great.
with that.
Yeah, let's
And
go ahead and start with that.
and then after that, we can field some questions and whatever you guys want to do.
Okay, let's
All
go.
right. All right, let me share this screen right here. Hopefully you guys got it. Can you see it?
Almost. Hold on. It's coming. We got it.
Are we there? Okay,
Yep.
great.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I really wanted to call this "Who Are You Dating?" And the reason I called it that is because honestly, you're out there, you're talking to somebody. Are you really going to be meeting up with the person that you're talking with? Who is that person on the other end? So who am I? You know what, Monica, you just went over that. And I wanted to say first, thank you, Monica, for that fantastic intro. I appreciate that. Ellen, thank you so much. And to the Arizona Foundation for Women for having me on here. Again, this is very important stuff. Yeah, I do teach the online safety for kids and parents, but this is just as important. I will say that this whole thing really is just a stranger danger issue. And as far as the stranger danger goes, you're not just looking out for your kids, you're looking out for yourself this time. It's just a more sophisticated form of stranger danger. Who am I? You know what? Monica just went through all that. So there's all that fun stuff right there. So why the need for this class? Well, this is a good reason, right?
We begin with our big story tonight at 10. More people than ever before are turning to the world of online dating and apps to find love. But with that comes some potential danger. Good evening and thank you for joining us for 12 News at 10. I'm Mitch Carr. Just over a week ago, Phoenix PD arrested two men accused of sexually assaulting a woman that one of them met on a dating app. Team 12's Michael Dowdna has the details and how you can protect yourself.
This is one of those horrible situations.
May 22nd, Phoenix police say a woman went into an apartment on 67th Avenue to meet 33-year-old Daniel Ray Martinez, a man she had met on a dating app. That's when police say Martinez and his roommate, 19-year-old Fabian Reyes, would both sexually assault her.
Cases such as this are just terrifying.
That's Jeff Hines, a Glendale Community College professor and former Phoenix police commander who ran a unit in charge of investigating sexual assault cases for around 3 years.
Sexual assaults like this happen all the time.
But good data showing the number of sexual assaults that come from online dating apps is in short supply as many cases go unreported. Anecdotally, though, the information is tragic.
It's a day we should have never had to endure in the first place.
Back in 2016, Angela Russo went to see LaShawn Johnson after meeting online, but never came home. Months later, her body was found dumped in the Arizona desert. Johnson later convicted of first-degree murder.
We can never have our daughter back, ever.
Now, activists have been pushing dating apps to do more.
So I just
Begin with our big.
I wanted to show that to show really that this is not just happening in other states. This isn't happening, you know, on the East Coast. This is happening right in our backyard, and there are big issues in Arizona just as much as there are the bigger states like New York, California. We have our own issues as well. 1 in 3 people are dating online, and that's. Keep in mind, these are people who are just willing to basically say that they are actually doing this. 25% of users admit to sharing too much information, such as their real names, locations, etc. Again, that's a smaller number than people really aren't saying, aren't really coming forward and saying, look, I had a really bad incident on there and I shouldn't have shared as much information as I probably should have. 50% of users admit to lying about their names, their marital status, location, and appearance. Yeah, the people who are getting on there to date for innocent reasons, they're lying about their information, but so are the people. So are those potential predators on the other end. As of 2020, Arizona is the 14th most dangerous state for online dating. Out of 50 states, I don't know if I would take my chances. Over 55% of people have experienced a threat from online dating, and that's either ITs, they're having problem with IT security, meeting people who didn't turn out to be exactly who they said they were. Again, people who were lying, and they ended up meeting these people, and the people were completely opposite from how they were describing themselves when they were talking online. Yeah, and there's so much more to this. 10% of sex offenders use online dating to meet people. Approximately 3% of men using online dating are psychopaths, meaning they have psychological issues. And more than 25% of rapists use online dating sites and apps to find victims. Internet predators commit over 16,000 abductions, 100 murders, and thousands of sexual assaults annually. That is using the dating apps. So why do people choose online dating? There's different reasons. Honestly, it is the ease of it all right there. It's much easier to go online than it is to go to a club, go to meet somebody at a restaurant. And in this day and age where COVID is really dictating if we're going out or not, again, the ease of it all is really alluring for a lot of people. It's very affordable. Again, you don't have to go out to the restaurant. You don't have to go out to a club. It's basically get online, it's chat. Most of these apps are free. If you want to upgrade to their deluxe version, I guess, you could pay for that, but for the most part, the majority of these apps are free. It is very convenient. Instead of leaving your house, it is a lot easier just to get on the phone and get onto an app and start texting with somebody back and forth. You don't have to go into a club and search around for somebody. All you have to do is that swipe left or swipe right. For the most part, yeah, it actually does work. 37% of relationships begin online. People are getting online because they're trying to find the right person. A lot of these apps claim to have algorithms when you put in all your personal information. As long as you're putting in the correct information, then the other people on the other end are putting in their correct information as well. There's an algorithm that may set you up with your exact match. Yeah, people are doing this out of just boredom and curiosity. There's a ton of that going on out there. Yep, you have your hookup apps. There's plenty of hookup apps out there that I'll show you here in a little bit, that people are out there just looking for the casual hookup, just to go out and to blow off some steam. Yeah, the self-esteem as well. This, you know, this is such a, this is the one I have a problem with, because the predators, that's what they prey on when it comes to predators grooming people. When they groom somebody, they basically are going to tell you everything. They're going to say all the right things to you to build confidence, to get you to have trust in them, to get you to have romantic feelings towards them. And the biggest thing that they are looking for is someone with low self-esteem. Yeah, and there's people out there who are basically just doing this because they say they're stuck in a relationship, that they can't get out of or don't want to get out of, and they're cheating on their spouse or their significant other. Some of the apps that people are using out there, just to kind of show you that there are tons. The ones I'm going to show you, there's maybe about 12 apps on here. There are literally hundreds and hundreds of apps out there to use. There's Tinder. I have an undercover account on there. Yes, it is actually undercover. I have an undercover account on there where I pose as a 14-year-old girl, and I've been hit on many, many times by plenty of people. There's Hinge. These basically all do the same exact thing. These are the most popular ones within the past year. And just like anything else, it's fluid. After a year or two, they may change quite a bit, except for the really popular ones, such as your Tinder. There's eHarmony. eHarmony claims to use those algorithms that is supposedly going to match you up with your perfect mate. Adult Friend Finder is an absolute hookup app. That is all that is made for. And people on there are, they're looking for one thing. If you do decide that at some point that you're going to use Adult Friend Finder, you need to do your homework. There's Bumble. Bumble does the exact same thing as Tinder does. Zoosk, same thing. There's Her. Her is is a lesbian site. Ashley Madison is for those people out there who are looking for extramarital affairs. OkCupid does the same thing as Tinder, Bumble, Zoosk. There's Happen, same thing. And then there's Grindr. Grindr is for gay males. It does the same thing that Her does. So what can you do to protect yourself out there if you do decide to go out there and go on these dates? Use Google Voice. Instead of using your own phone number, you can get onto Google Voice. Google Voice will give you a phantom phone number that you can use, and you won't have to use your own phone number, so you don't have that out there. Do your research. I said this the other day when I was on an interview on Channel 10. Become a stalker. If you're talking to somebody and you decide that you may want to go a little bit further with them and meet up with them in person, everybody has some kind of a digital footprint out there. Look them up on Instagram, on Snapchat, on Facebook. Look them up, Google them, see if they're out there. If you can't find anything having to do with this person, that might be a red flag. Don't give out too much personal information. Hey, you've never met this person before, and for all intents and purposes, they're a stranger. Do not give all your personal information out to a stranger. Ask to see proof of life pictures. This is a weird thing to ask them, but hey, it's going to give you peace of mind. You can basically just say to them, hey, can you give me a picture of you, maybe holding up 2 fingers or maybe holding up my name, so I know it's not a picture you just grabbed off of the internet. Ask to video chat. If you ask to video chat somebody and you are into them and they are into you and they don't want to video chat, there might be issues. That might be a red flag. If you're going to meet somebody, tell your friends and your family who and where you're going to be meeting this person. Give out the deets. Meet them in a public place. There's absolutely no reason for them to come to your place or for you to go to their place. All you're doing is setting yourself up for failure right there. Drive yourself. When you decide to meet somebody, drive yourself to the club, to the restaurant, wherever you're meeting. Tell your friends or family to give you a call at a specific time. Hey, this is what time I'm meeting this person. If you can give me a call, maybe about 15 or 20 minutes in, just to give me an out. If things aren't going well, you can use that phone call as basically, hey, I've got an emergency, I need to leave. Use a code word if you need to get away from your date. If you if that's something you can talk to a waitress about, that's something you can talk to your friends and family about, that is something you can talk to the bartender about. Do not leave your drink unattended. If you have to go to the restroom or something along those lines, it may look a little different, but take the drink with you or bring it up to the bar. Have the bartender just keep an eye on it. You don't want somebody throwing putting anything in your drink. Yeah, just like I talked about the code word, get to the restaurant and the bar early, talk to the waiter and the bartender, tell them what's going on. Is it okay to carry pepper spray? Absolutely it is. Absolutely. Stay sober. Stay sober. Don't drink a lot. Don't become so inebriated that you're not making good decisions for yourself. Don't put yourself in that position. And the very last thing I say on here is trust your gut. You know what? If there's one thing you need to be aware about, is if you're seeing red flags and you're thinking to yourself that something is not right about this, trust your gut. Unless you have a history of really bad gut decisions, do the opposite, but trust your gut. And then one last thing, as far as my PowerPoint goes, keep this in mind. The companies who create these online dating apps and websites, they do not care about your safety and they do not care about your well-being. They don't vet these people who create the accounts. They're not doing background checks on them. They only care about one thing, and that's the money. That's all they care about. When they say that they care about your safety and they're looking out, they are absolutely not. Please, please, please be careful and take care of yourselves. And that is the end of my PowerPoint. You know what? I want to say one thing, and I've said a lot of bad things about online dating. Online dating there are a lot of success stories with online dating, and I don't want anyone to think that that I'm telling you not to use them. If that's what you choose to do, I absolutely have no issues with that. We are here today to basically tell you, if you're going to use them, be cognizant of what you're doing. Again, there are people out there who are out to do people harm, and that's just the nature of the beast when it comes to this type of dating, this type of lifestyle. So please, please, please just be careful.
Information is so great. There were so many things there, and I have a list of questions. By the way, if anybody has any questions, you can go ahead and send your question in. There's a Q&A area on the website, or what you're looking at right now, and you can go ahead and send over a question. But one thing that I've realized, before I was married, I went on a couple dates. It was before all the online dating. But I noticed that at times I would be a little too trusting, right? Mm-hmm. Or I wouldn't want to take my drink with me because I wouldn't want to offend anybody, or I just felt like it probably was weird. And so how does someone get over that feeling, especially women, because we don't like to offend, and you might be strong inside, but when you get in certain situations, you feel a little uncertain and you might not exert that strength. So what are some like motivation or strength building things you can think of, or mantras when you go out that will remind you, okay, take your drink, or don't do this, or what, anything like that?
Yeah, it is such a weird thing, because you are on a first date for all intents and purposes. You are on a first date and you don't want to make a bad impression. But first and foremost, you want to protect yourself. And I would rather feel a little uncomfortable about taking my drink away from the table than having something happen, something drastic happen, and thinking to myself, there I was afraid to take my drink away, and it worked. I should have. Don't be that armchair quarterback after that said, I should have, I could have. Is it going to look bad? You can even explain to them and say, look, it's nothing against you. I've just, have heard so many horror stories. Explain to them. And if they're a decent person, the decent person that you're hoping that you just met, then they're going to completely understand. And if they don't, toss them to the curb.
When you're saying this, the word selfish comes to mind. We're not supposed to be selfish in life, right? But I guess when we're online dating, and if we're going to meet people or having the conversation, be selfish, take care of yourself. You don't owe this other person anything, right?
Exactly. You're meeting on a first date. It's not like you're going there to get married and everything has been established. Protect yourself. That's all you need to do until you get to know this person and you get to trust them. Protect yourself. That's what it comes down to.
Okay, very good. So be selfish, people. Women,
Absolutely.
Be selfish. I think about, I wouldn't want to leave my children without a mom, right? Okay, so here's one of the questions that we got. Is pepper gel or pepper spray the most effective?
I have actually never heard of pepper gel, but if it does the exact same thing as pepper spray, go with it. Whatever you're more comfortable using, if that's what you've purchased to protect yourself, go ahead and use it. I've been sprayed with pepper spray, and it is the gift that keeps on giving. It is hell. It really is. So whether it's gel or spray, I'm sure it's going to be painful. And either or, I'm okay with.
Would you recommend those kind of sprays over, I see that product Birdie, Birdie, which I believe is basically a high-pitched sound or a loud sound. It's a button. I see them trying to sell it to college students or people that walk around a lot. You put it on your keychain and then you can hit that button. What do you think about those?
Sure, I think that's great to have, but let's kind of go back to what we were saying, that this is a first date and you really don't want to put yourself in a position where you're going to have to use something like that. If you end up at the end of the night and you're still not really sure about what's going on, and this person wants to walk you to your vehicle or anything like that, it would be a good thing to have, but I would hate for you to have to use it. Anything that's going to protect you is good to have on you, whether it's that, whether it's the pepper spray or the pepper gel, or even they sell personal tasers now. Anything that's going to give you that peace of mind, then I'm all for it. Be selfish. We're going to say this a lot. Be selfish and protect yourself.
Yeah. Selfish. I like that. Yesterday we were talking about you and these dating apps on KTAR yesterday, and an article I found, I think this was somewhere down in Texas or maybe Louisiana, and it was a woman who opened up a bar and she started educating bartenders and waitresses on the code words that you had mentioned. And in fact, they have signs in the women's restroom that says, if you need help, if you're here on a date or you need help or whatever, ask the bartender for a Bowser shot, or ask your waitress for an angel shot or the angel drink or something like that. And that is the code for the bartenders or the waitresses. And I thought that was a fantastic idea.
That's excellent. And what so simple, but yet they're watching out for their patrons right there. I absolutely love that. And I think that I would love to see other restaurants or clubs really start doing that in their establishments as well. What a great way to protect people.
I know. And it just seemed to flow right from the advice you gave us about, if you're going to meet somebody, go talk to the bartender or the waitress beforehand. And even if you're meeting at Starbucks, go talk to the barista, right? They're essentially a bartender.
Exactly. Absolutely. Right. It doesn't matter where you're going to meet. You can talk to somebody, because odds are, especially with the younger kids, I say that because I am no longer a younger kid. These younger kids, they're on these dating apps and they know what you're going through, whether you're younger, whether you're older.
That's true.
They're doing this. They know about Tinder, they know about Bumble, they know about all these apps. So talk to them. They'd be more than accommodating.
Okay, here's another question from one of our viewers. When I was actively dating online, I would run the image of those that I wanted to meet up with, but I noticed that Google Images is not very effective. Is there an image search site that you would recommend?
So I'm going to geek out on all you guys right here. I'm going to put on my digital forensics hat and explain something. So whenever you're on one of these apps, and whether it be Google, through Google Hangouts, or whether it's on one of these dating apps, every digital picture has digital information that's attached to it. It's called metadata. And once you send these images out, once it goes, it gets sent to the app, and then it gets sent to the other person. It doesn't go straight to that person. It goes through the app, and then that person. What the apps do is that they scrub or erase all that metadata from the pictures. Now, what that means is you can get that image on the other end, and you can take a screenshot of it and try putting it into Google Images. But what the thing is that it's going to look for an algorithm that is attached to that metadata. Well, the algorithm and the metadata is gone, so it has nothing else to compare to.
Okay.
Now, I go back to this. That was my geeky. That was my geek answer for why you were not able to find it. If you're not able to find it like that, which you can still try, if you're not able to, then ask them for a live picture. Just like I said, those proof of life pictures. Hey, can you send me a picture of yourself holding up my name or today's newspaper, or will you video chat with me? If these people don't want to do this, then again, kick them to the curb.
Now, when you ask them for that proof of life picture, do they upload that to the app, or do they send it to, do you give them your phone number or your email? How would you get that picture?
Well, I think on some of these apps, you're able to, some of the apps, you're able to trade pictures. But a lot of the times, I think through chatting, I guess you swipe, and once you match, you're able to chat. And you're able to trade pictures. I don't know if you're able to video chat, but once you decide to go to someplace else, whether it be through, hey, here's my phone number, or here's my Google chat number, whatever you're going to use, have them send those pictures that way. And then again, you'll get those proof of life pictures, and at least you'll know, okay, at least this isn't, I'm not talking to somebody who didn't just take this picture off the internet and is basically,
And whatever you do, if someone asks for a naked picture, don't do it.
Don't do it. Oh my Lord. Look, you tell your kids not to do it, so don't do it yourself.
Right. No matter how attracted you are to that other person.
Yes, exactly. I will say this, and I say it to the kids. Once that picture is out there, it is out there forever. And if they say they're not going to share it, they lie.
Right.
They're lying to you. They are going to share it, and it's going to end up in places that, other people are going to find out about it. Save yourself the heartache.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So with so many fake profiles, not only on the dating apps, but even on Facebook singles groups, what's the best way to tell? I guess you've told us the best way with pictures is to go ahead and ask for a proof of life picture. What about the profiles? How can you really tell? Are there any tips or tricks on trying to figure out if this person's lying or not?
Man, I think your best bet is just to really don't make a spur of the moment decision and just based off of what they're saying in their profile to meet up with them. If you're doing that, you're setting yourself up for failure. Talk to these people, get to know them, ask them questions that questions that would trip them up. Ask them what school they went to. Ask them what area they live in. Ask them anything that is going to get you to feel comfortable. Ask them about their family, ask them about their job. have them get specific, but you know, I tell you, telling everybody out there not to give out too much
Right.
information about yourselves, and you're trying to get information from somebody else. Just ask them enough questions where you think to yourself, okay, maybe we can take this to the next level and we can at least meet somewhere. If people are, excuse me, really tripping up on their answers, or they're taking entirely too long for their answers, that's probably going to be a red flag.
Okay, every time you say red flag, it reminds me of that skit from Saturday Night Live. And if anybody has seen that skit, red flag, it's pretty funny. Okay, so we're talking about personal information. And one of the questions I had was how much is okay? How much is too much? You basically just answer that in a way, but I'm wondering, what kind of personal information do we have a tendency of giving that we should not give, right? We think we're being friendly or, you know, just being open, and then you realize, oh, bummer, I probably shouldn't have told them that. What kind of information do you think would that be?
You know, you're not going to want to give out. I wouldn't give out my last name. I wouldn't give out where I live. I probably wouldn't give out where I work. As far as like giving out, you know, like whether you have Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook. Facebook, I would probably hold off on, you know, just because it's got so much personal information on there, depending on how computer savvy you are, and how much time you spend on social media. But yeah, it's the really personal information where you don't want somebody to basically use any of this information against you, or to make more problems, make problems for you. You can tell them what you do, just don't tell them where you do it or who you do it for. Again, I wouldn't talk about kids, or I wouldn't talk about where we live, or you know, just the real stuff that you would really keep to yourself until you get to know them. At least you know, you become very confident in the person you're talking to is a decent person. You get to know them.
I haven't done this, but or maybe I have, I just don't remember. Facebook, can you still keep your page private?
You can, yeah, absolutely, you can. So, and I would say if you are getting into this, the online dating, I would keep that either private or private with friends. I think, which is what majority of what people do.
Yeah.
Don't have anything public out there, even your Snapchat and your Instagram, or your Meet Me, whatever it is out there. Just keep everything private, and invite people into your world. Don't let them encroach into your world. Make sure you're the one who's inviting them in.
Yeah. When we're talking about sites, I've had one question. They wanted to know what your take is on Match.com. And along with that, these sites, is there a way that you can report someone who you think is a threat, either on the sites themselves, or would that be something that you would contact the police for?
Yeah, you know what? Match does the same thing as like eHarmony does. Those really, really popular. Those are really they're not hookup sites. They're really for full-on dating and finding your match. They work off that personal information, where they work on the algorithms and matching you up with your, you know, with a specific person that is gonna, you know, be perfect for you. I think that what was the second part of that question?
What if you believe that someone is a threat to you or to anybody else, do you report that on those sites, or is that something that you should go to the police for?
Yeah, absolutely. Every one of these sites you can report them, and that's everything from Tinder, from adult friend finder, all the way down to Match and eHarmony. They do have you can report people who you don't think are being truthful on there, or if they're being just a-holes, you can report them. and they will investigate it, and they'll most likely just kick them off.
Like, really? Will they really?
Well, they'll kick them off, but that doesn't stop them from basically just creating another profile. Now, if you get somebody on there and they're doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing, they're sending unwanted pictures, and you know what the unwanted pictures I'm talking about. If they're doing something like that, then we're bordering on harassment, and that's where you should probably start contacting your local police.
Okay. So if they threaten you or harass you, or they don't leave you alone, even if you've, made it clear,
absolutely,
by ignoring them or telling them to leave you alone, or sending you those pictures, it's okay to go ahead and call the police?
Absolutely. Let us do our job. That's what we get trained to do. Let us do it.
Would they call 911, or would it be the non-emergency line?
It's going to be the non-emergency line. Unless this person is trying to beat down your door, then by all means, please dial 911.
If someone doesn't know how to find the non-emergency line, could they call 911, and could 911 transfer them? I don't want to make 911 the operator, but I want to give people the resources that they need in these situations.
I don't know if I would suggest dialing 911 to get all you have to do is whatever city you live in, whether it's Scottsdale, Mesa, Gilbert, Phoenix, just Google the police department's non-emergency number, and it'll pop up just like that. You'll be able to get it.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
Hey, we're all doing that. That's why we're here. You're doing this on your phones. Everybody's got Google on there or something similar. So.
And we had a comment. They said they reported 2 different men on the site that they were on, and they were taken off, and they were scammers. So that's good. That's good to know.
And a lot of these sites, I know, because I have undercover accounts on a few of these sites. A lot of them are pure spammers. A lot of them are bots, and the bots, all they are doing is trying to get you to go to websites or webcams or something along those lines to join other websites or to join other so yeah, there's a ton of that, and there is a way to just click on it and report them as being spammers or bots, and they'll get rid of them.
So talking about these sites, are there some sites that are safer than others in your experience? Because you are a detective with the Mesa Police Department, and you have your own company, the Online Safety Specialist. Are there some that you find are more credible or safer than others?
I would say that the ones you're going to be more safe on are the ones like a Match or an eHarmony. Now,
like the big name ones.
The big name ones. And I'm going to throw this disclaimer out there. If something happens, don't come to me and say, well, you said it was okay. You still have to do your homework. You still have to be selfish and protect yourself. But the ones like Match and the ones that are more for dating and not for hookup, like the Tinder or like the Adult Friend Finder, or a Grinder or a She. Those are for really just for hookup. I shouldn't say just, but mainly for hookups.
Okay.
So those are the things right there where you're looking for something at spur of the moment, and you're looking to have some fun now.
Yeah.
You're just, all you're doing is you're setting yourself up for failure. And I would suggest sticking to like the Match or the eHarmony or something along.
I guess if you want to set yourself up for failure, if you're a woman, you can just go to a bar.
Yeah, exactly.
You talked about upgrades. There are a lot of these sites, you can have a free account, and then they try to upgrade you with, answer these 50 questions or whatever, and we'll find you your perfect match or whatever it may be. If you purchase an upgrade, is there any level of safety that comes along with that?
No, absolutely not. It's going to be the same exact app. The only thing that they're doing different is you'll be able to directly contact other people on there, chat with them through the app itself, instead of going to another app to talk or to exchange pictures or something along those lines. With the majority of these apps, you're going to get the bare minimum unless you upgrade and give that money. Again, it does not come down to them vetting. It doesn't come down to them doing background checks. All they are looking for is to get that dollar bill. That's all they care about.
Dollar bills, y'all, right?
Absolutely, make it rain.
Talking about the background checks. Let's say I've been online now and I've been talking to people, and now I'm making the choice to go ahead and meet somebody IRL, right, in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way to do a background check? I know I can Google stalk them by putting in their name.
Mm-hmm.
But is there any company or organizations or anything out there that I can pay for a basic background check?
There are a ton of them. And I can't tell you what the names of any of them, but I can tell you this. There are plenty of them where you can go online and just type in a background check on somebody. And there are plenty of online websites that you can go to. Yes, you're going to have to pay for it. It's not much. I think it's at the most maybe $10 or $15 to get it done. But it will get you a comprehensive search on who you're looking for, as long as that person is giving you the truthful information. But it will give you all the information on them, and it'll be more information than you bargained for. But there's plenty of sites. All you have to do is just Google it. There's a lot of them out there.
I know that when I've had to use background checks and information in my profession, there'll be things like whether they filed for bankruptcy before, whether they've had any charges against them or been convicted of anything. I think actually that's really important information that you want to know if you think you're going to take that next step with this individual.
Absolutely. You know, it's no different than what I do in my job. And whenever I get somebody who might be a possible suspect, we have accounts with online companies that do comprehensive background checks, and we use that on a daily basis to look up people and to see what they've been involved. And just like you said, it'll give us everything from their date of birth and social security number all the way down to past bankruptcies or arrests, or it's got pretty much a whole history of where they used to live and phone numbers. And you could ask them questions.
You could ask them questions to try to trip them up.
Right? There you go. Become a detective.
Right. One of the questions that our viewers had was, is there a way to turn off your personal information on those pictures that you're sharing or putting into that app?
There are. So there are lots of programs out there that you can download either through the Apple or through the Google store that erases metadata. You want to look for something that erases metadata. And what that'll do is you can run it through that program. It'll erase everything that's on there. And even if you just wanted to send it through regular text, there would be no metadata attached to it, or anything that you wanted to specifically put on it. You could do that as well.
Okay, that's good to know. Is there a way to identify a scammer before it gets to the point where they are requesting money?
Oh, well,
$1 million question.
The way I see it this way is that if they're requesting money, then you've already done something that you probably should not have done, and you kind of jumped the gun. So the best thing to do is to not give them any ammunition that would give them the edge to ask for money. Okay. Hey, basically what they're saying is that I have this against you, and if you don't give me the money that I'm asking for, I'm going to blast either this picture or this video or this personal information out to everybody. So again, be selfish, protect yourself. Don't send any of that stuff out, and somebody won't ask you for money because they will have nothing to ask money for.
So we're talking about scammers and how that can turn into a crime. What are the common dating crimes that you come into contact with in your position over at Mesa PD?
There's sexual assaults, there's
So sexual assaults would happen in person.
In person, yeah. But there's, we've seen stalking, we've seen harassment. Those are really going to be the two biggest ones are your stalking and your harassment type style stuff, where basically you've talked and you've said, you know what, this is not really working out. And the other person on the other end just cannot take a hint, and they're doing everything they possibly can they're showing up where they shouldn't be showing up. They're harassing you with pictures, with phone calls, with emails, texts, whatever it be. That still falls under the harassment statute. So it's going to be that, and then the ones that we see with the in person is unfortunately the sexual assaults, but you still get the harassment and the stalking. We still get harassment and stalking with those as well.
So Scott, it sounds like a lot of this stuff has to do with common sense. And I know it's easy for me to say that because I'm sitting here in a chair and I'm not actually online dating, right? But we have a tendency of forgetting common sense sometimes, especially when we're in a situation where we feel a little vulnerable or we don't have a lot of confidence.
Yeah. So I'll be a little blunt here. Sometimes we don't think here. Sometimes all the blood has rushed to other parts of our bodies, and we make.
Do you mean men or everybody in general?
Men and women. We make really bad decisions, bad spur of the moment decisions that really come back to bite us in the butt. No pun intended there. And that's what you really have to be cognizant of. You have to remember that even though you may want something, the person on the other end may want the same thing. They're telling you they want the same thing, but they might have ulterior motives. You have to protect yourself. Again, we've said it a bunch of times already. Be selfish, protect yourself. Before you make that decision, take a step back and think to yourself, all right, what can happen with this? And if you're thinking to yourself, okay, this could happen, then don't do it. Do your homework first, and then it'll happen in time. Just slow your roll.
That makes me think, what would blank do, right? So yeah. I would think of someone in your life that's a very strong, smart person. So if you're female, maybe you're thinking of another female that that's been dating, or maybe they're married now, but they're strong, they're smart, they have common sense. And then maybe ask yourself, what would Jane do, for example? Or a man out there, it goes back and forth. And I don't want this to sound like all the bad people are men. I mean, there are women out there that are conniving, manipulative people, just like the men are. Although I think the stats are, it's like you said.
Yeah, the stats unfortunately say otherwise.
Yeah.
I wish I had an answer for that, but I don't.
Okay. So let me go over a couple things. We've got about 7 minutes left. So as we're talking to be safe, basically kind of the big overarching thing you can think of is to be selfish when you're online. And then if you take that next step to go out there and see someone in real life.
Yeah.
Be selfish, be a stalker, become Scott Pietrzak, right?
Yes.
Investigate, be the detective.
Yeah, exactly. If there's, out of all the information that I've given everybody so far, I think that it comes down to really the two big things. Do your homework. Do your homework first. Get as much information you can from this person, and then do your homework. Stalk them. I know that word stalker is not the greatest of words, but stalk them. Just do it digitally. Find out as much as you can. Everybody has a digital footprint somewhere. If you're not finding anything, then that's a red flag. And the last thing is trust your gut. If you're doing your homework, you're not finding what you want to be finding, trust your instinct. If your gut is telling you this is not a good thing, then you know what, it probably isn't. Go on to the next person, because I can tell you this, again, I have undercover accounts on some of these apps. I know how many people are on there. I've seen a few of you. Just make sure you go on to the next person. Swipe left, swipe right, just do your homework.
So Scott, if someone has any questions or they have an organization or a group that they would love to have you come and talk to, or if they have questions to you about anything, what would be a good place or a way to get a hold of you and get some of this information, or maybe invite you to speak somewhere?
They could go to Facebook to my online safety specialists with an S at the end. You can look for me on there. I also have a website, onlinesafetyspecialist.com. You can find me on there as well. I can come and talk to you guys about this. And I also teach online safety to kids and to parents. I have classes for kids and parents, but I actually love teaching my class to kids and parents at the same time, because I think that is the best way to build a dialogue between them, so everybody is on the same page and everyone knows what to look for. But my phone number, my email is on there, and yeah, I'd be more than happy to. I've taught for everything from in the schools to private homes to churches to youth groups, you name it, I've taught at it, and I absolutely adore it. This is my passion. This is I have 18 months left to go with the police department, and this is what I'll be doing after, and I absolutely adore doing it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Scott Pietrzak. We appreciate this information. It's so important. And for all of our viewers out there, this is going to be on demand. So remember to share it to anybody and everybody that you can think of. Please reach out to Scott if you have any questions, or you know of other groups or organizations that could really benefit from this. And if you'd like to become part of Arizona Foundation for Women, go ahead and visit our website, azfw.org. Go ahead and sign up to be a member, maybe sign up to be a SHE partner or a volunteer, or just email us and we will get back to you with any information that you need so we can invite you into this incredible organization. And again, Scott, thank you so much. The Mesa Police Department, they're so fortunate to have you. And in 18 months, they won't have you any longer, but then the rest of us will have you to teach us all of these common sense things. So word of the day, people, be selfish when it comes to online dating. All right. Thank you, Scott. And thank you, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.